So the reason why I think that every single tier list that I've seen on YouTube is wrong is because the tier list that the people make, they're basically making a tier list of what they would like to see on the team rather than what should you pick to carry with. And I think that kind of defeats the purpose of a tier list. You rank characters based on what would you like to have on a team rather than what should I pick myself. And like, Luna, of course everybody would like to have a Luna on the team because Luna, great heals, great ultimate. But to be honest, if you want to rank up, Luna is not a great hero to pick. Spoiler alert, Luna is not going to be super high on the tier list. But have to understand that the tier list that I'm making based on carry potential. So if you pick the character and you play exceptionally well, you can pretty much flawlessly destroy the enemy team. So let's start with the character, the Mr. Adam Warlock, that everybody said that it's a must pick last season, and I don't disagree. Adam Warlock was a fantastic pick last season before he got nerfed. However, just because he's a must pick and triple support doesn't mean that you're going to carry a lot with him. The reason why people rated Adam so high up the list is because essentially, if you play triple support with Adam, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to kill you. That's all. So yeah, it's going to be a living pain to play BP or Salok into triple support with Adam, but you yourself are not going to be able to carry matches consistently if you play with Adam. Adam is a very stationary character. Whenever I played Adam, no matter what rank, I was almost forced to play with my team. Why? Because I do need to use my soul bond that got nerfed. I do need to utilize my heals that I don't have many of those, but I do need to use it on my team because the burden of healing is there's still some on Adam. It's not as much as Luna or Cloak and Dagger or something like that. However, you have to exclusively play with your team. That's why Adam is going on B. Yes, he has amazing abilities, but amazing abilities can only be utilized by fairly good teams. The idea of a solo carry is that you yourself can utilize those abilities to actually kill enemies and carry games. Yes, putting Soul Bond on a team that sucks not gonna help you. I'll actually contemplate putting Adam on C tier, but I think that C tier is a little bit too low for him. Black Panther. Black Panther is genuinely an amazing character to carry with. However, in Season 2, with the introduction of Emma Frost, and everybody is pretty much playing Emma Frost, the CC is just too much. If you play against the Thing and Emma Frost together, you're going to notice that it's going to be unbearable to play BP. It's just literally impossible. You go in, you get stunned from random Thing. The Thing just runs around, boom, you're stunned, you can move. Emma just catches you, boom, you're dead. There's just too much CC going on. You're going to have a miserable time. It's going to be very, very difficult to play. Even if you have amazing mechanical abilities and amazing decision making, just randomly you'll just go into CC. And also, it doesn't help that half of the time that you just go in and try to do something, you get no-rigged by like Invisible Woman Shield or like random stuff like that. So I'm contemplating putting BP in C tier, but I will put him in B tier. I think that if I think these two, I would say that BP is even worse right now than Adam, because at the very least with Adam you can do more damage than BP. So you know what, I'll take it back. I put it C tier, high C tier, close to B tier. Widow. Now Widow, people think that Widow is a trash character. Why? They see Marvel Rivals, they see lowest win rate, so they assume that the hero just sucks. Which is partly true, but win rates don't tell you anything. When you look at a win rate, you have to ask yourself how good the hero is, or rather, how good the player who's playing the Widow is. Yes, Widow will have like 50%, like 45% win rate in Bronze because people don't know how to position, they don't know how to shoot. But if you put Widow in Celestial, perhaps it will be high win rate. Win rate don't necessarily correlate to how good hero is. Bear in mind, last season, Jeff was the second lowest win rate character, I think, after Widow. And he was S tier to carry across the board. It was pretty amazing. So Widow will go to B tier. I actually think that with Widow, you could carry way more than Adam. I contemplated putting Widow at A tier. I think that Widow is really not bad now, even against dive, because of the changes of the melee, the grapple stuff that you do. It's fairly easy to kill. I think she's high B tier. I'm contemplating putting her in A tier because I think that if you can shoot, and if you can position, you're going to do fairly well. Way better than Adam at the very least. Because compared to Adam, she has a reliable disengage ability. She has a sprint, she has a jump. You can disengage from people that are chasing you. So I would say high B tier. I'll put A tier for the purpose of this. Right. And the ulti is pretty good. Yeah, you're right. Danny's correct. The ulti is pretty good. Maybe I'll change my mind throughout We'll see this final decision. Moving on to Hulk. Hulk received some buffs. Earlier bubble. Hulk was pretty damn good even before he got buffed. I think the problem is people just don't know how to play Hulk for the most part. He's like a very big meathead that just absorbs a bunch of damage. But if you time your engagements correctly, utilize your abilities correctly, you're gonna be a menace. And I think the fact that he gives Namor and like Iron Man, Namor and these team ups is ridiculous. So overall, he's A tier. Generally speaking, I usually don't put tanks in A tier because I believe that tanks, because they attract so much attention, it's much harder for them to get picks. So therefore, I usually don't put them above A tier, but maybe this season will change. Captain America. Captain America, last time, even before he got buffed, I put him in A tier. I think Captain America is an amazing tank if you want to carry your games. He's practically unkillable if you know how to cycle your cooldowns and know when to engage and disengage. But now they buffed him to the point that he's actually can get solo kills pretty reliably. And on my main account, which is essentially one above all, I mean, now it's Grandmaster, but it's like top 500. I played against one above all Captain Americas. And goddamn, that was so difficult to win. Even if you somehow magically do so much damage, the amount of distraction that the character creates and the amount of cooldowns it has to force, it forces when it goes in, is ridiculous. It's just obnoxious. Captain America is going to be the first character, the first thing that I'm going to put in S tier. That character, if mastered, is amazing across the board, across all ranks. You can do so much. You can get kills, you can force cooldowns, and most importantly, you just simply don't die. It's crazy. Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger has received a seasonal buff. I believe it's 10% healing. But as you guys understand, healing doesn't carry games, damage and kill potential does. Cloak and Dagger cannot off-angle properly. Cloak and Dagger doesn't have an ability to take 1v1s. Cloak and Dagger barely has the ability to survive properly with, like, you know, maybe if she uses literally every cooldown. Cloak and like the healing stuff. Cloak and Dagger is probably the worst hero you can pick right now if you'd like to carry your games. It's actually plain awful, straight up. Would you like to have Cloak and Dagger on your team to heal you? Yes. Would you like to have Cloak and Dagger in team to ulti? Yes. Cloak and Dagger is just horrible if you'd like to carry your games. How do I know? Literally just any of you, literally just go log into a plat account if you're Grandmaster or above and try to carry with Cloak and Dagger. Let's see win rates. D tier, easy. Really bad. And even when I play with Cloak and Daggers, I was like, damn, I wish I would have had a Raccoon. I wish I would have had Inviswoman. I wish I would have had Luna. I wish I would have had Loki. Literally any support I would rather have than Cloak and Dagger on my team. No utility, no damage, no off angles, no distraction, no nothing.
Awkward is pathetic.
Alright, moving to Doctor Strange. They did gut Doctor Strange. I do think they nerfed him to the point that it's like very difficult to get kills. There's no proper gamma ray. Like now the team up is gone. He does less damage overall with the burst. Without the burst, overall less damage. I do think that Strange was a really high A tier last season. This season, I wouldn't consider him to be absolute garbage. I still think that you can definitely reliably get picks, even though you don't do a lot of damage. Like when I see not a lot of damage, I mean not as much as before. I still think you can utilize off angles. I think you can get kills on isolate targets. I still think you can extend to the backline and burst enemies down. You can contest DPS on the high ground, etc., etc. And it's actually not that bad, even taking tanks fights. So you can definitely carry on Doctor Strange, just not as reliable as before. So I have to drop him from A tier to B tier. Unfortunately. Alright, moving on. Emma Frost. The thing about Emma Frost is that Emma Frost has an amazing ultimate, but there are just two issues. Number one, she can't farm it super fast. But to be honest, I think that if you could farm Emma Frost ulti super fast, it would be obnoxious and ridiculous to play against. I think that she does phenomenally well against melee heroes. I think her CC makes her very, very strong. I think if you know how to utilize your shield and diamond form, you can almost treat it like a Romatra type of character, where it's very, very difficult to kill you if you know how to cycle your cooldowns. The E ability that like grabs their soul or whatever does a decent amount of damage, and you combined with the shift itself and the diamond form, you can actually extend to the backline, perhaps kill them. The only problem with Emma Frost is that she's not mobile. She's really good, but she isn't mobile. So I think I'm going to be very generous. I'm going to put Emma Frost on S tier. I'm going to be very generous here, but she's definitely like below something like Cap. So I think she has disengaged. She actually can disengage with her diamond form, which is fairly reliable. But I think she's high A tier. Like I'm just gonna be, just so you know, I think it's A tier, but I'm gonna be very generous and put it S tier because I think there might be a way to play her a little bit more optimally that people just didn't come up with yet. All right, we're moving on to Groot. Groot is amazing this season. I don't know. I don't think they buffed him, but something about Groot feels very obnoxious to play against. I do think that Groot, even though he's amazing, he again lacks something, which is mobility. The problem with Groot is you can't really flank with Groot. However, with good wall placement, you can do a bunch of stuff. I think that if you are at any rank and you can utilize Groot walls to be able to actually get properly, like, zone out tanks, or you can zone out like DPS or supports, you're gonna do amazing. I think that Groot is ironically better than Emma. I'm going to put him in S tier just because enemies until like eternity rank, they have horrible positioning that could easily capitalize with walls. And I think that his ulti is also amazing, and it's also fairly difficult to kill him. And even if you are trying to disengage, you put a wall in front of you, it's like very annoying. It's very difficult to kill with proper walls. It's also shuts down enemy DPS is so bad without even meaning to do it. Just by placing random walls around the map, all of a sudden BP misses a dash, Psylocke hits it like a wall while trying to disengage. So I'm gonna put it S tier. I think that Groot is not as good as Captain to carry with. However, I think he's better than Emma. Hawkeye, I think he got buffed this season. I don't know what happened to him. Everybody picks him for some reason. But I think that Hawkeye is super overrated. I think that his main issue is that he is not good at moving around angles and creating strong off angles. His disengagement is kind of ass. Like his big jump is kind of ass. He can like literally, if you play any diving character or Psylocke, man, whatever, Hawkeye is a free kill. If you get behind him, it's a free kill. It's not an amazing hero, but yeah, I think Hawkeye is A tier. He does a lot of damage. Not great at taking 1v1s. His ulti is alright, but he's like kind of a front line. Just sit with your team and shoot. That's pretty much what it is. A good Hawkeye main is S+ tier. Not true. Even if I play against the best Hawkeye in the world, I would rather play against the best Hawkeye in the world than play against the best Widow in the world even. Or like the best Captain in the world or the best Groot in the world. Hela, no, not much to say. Hela is just S tier. I don't know if she got buffed, nerfed, whatever. Hela is just plain insane. Hela, you can off angle, you can flank. She's great at taking 1v1s. She can take angles from anywhere. You get contested, just bird out the way. BP dives you, great. You click E, he's dead. You can 2-tap enemies from far away. They still didn't fix the fall-off range. It's a little bit ridiculous that you can just 2-tap people from 50 miles away. It's just kind of obnoxious. Yeah, so, and her ulti is not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. Damage, amazing. Kill potential, high. 1v1 potential, amazing. Off-angle potential, great. Just amazing. All right, Human Torch. Oh, man, the Human Torch is just obnoxious to play against, man. I don't know what... I mean, I understand why they buffed this hero. Human Torch got super buff because he was trash, and now he's super buff to the point that he's, like, obnoxiously strong. If you have the Invisible Woman team up, he's like even more ridiculous. It's unkillable. That character has 400 HP. It has disengage ability. It can fly in the sky. It does insane amounts of damage. You can go in, you can get out. His ulti is obnoxious. He's very, very strong. Unkillable, a lot of damage, off angles. Yeah, it's just amazing. I don't know. They buffed him to the point that it's just a permaban every time. And it's not a permaban because he's annoying to play against. It's a permaban because even if I play great, he's not gonna die. He's just gonna kill me every time when he has his ulti, which can farm pretty fast. Yeah, so he's S tier easily. How is Torch's ulti any better than Hela's? For one, it cannot be destroyed. Two, it just shoots faster. All right, moving to Invisible Woman. He's an amazing hero, and I'd like to have in your team. You're playing Mr. Fantastic. You're playing the Thing. You're playing Human Torch. It's amazing to have on your team. However, to carry with, it's not that amazing. However, I do think that out of the supports, she has pretty good carry potential because she capitalized off the fact that the enemy's lack of positioning. So every time the enemy overextend, you can pull him, and most of the time they die, or at the very least force them to use every cooldown and run away so they can't shoot. Neore on the high ground, pull. Hela on the high ground, pull. BP jumping you, push. SpiderMan jumping you, push. I think Invisible Woman is very, very good to carry with as a support compared to, let's say, his Cloak and Dagger. So I'll fairly put her in B tier. I think that her damage is not amazing, but it's not bad. You can't really take off angles. You can't really flank. You don't have great 1v1 capabilities, but you have a great capability of capitalizing off enemies' mistakes with your pull and with your shift. And also, you farm your ulti so quickly that just if you sit behind your team and heal and do damage at the same time, you're gonna farm your ulti within a minute, and just cycling your ultis pretty quickly will usually guarantee you're usually going to play a lot better than the enemy support, which will make it's just much easier for you to win. Iron Fist. Iron Fist is always very difficult for me to rate. I think that Iron Fist is like a type of character that is mostly annoying rather than like, oh my god, there's Iron Fist in the backline. Yeah, just heal each other. You know what I mean? You're not gonna die. Like there's no high kill potential with Iron Fist, even with his ulti. The problem is with Iron Fist is because now they buffed him to the point that he gets his deflect back and he can just perma exist in the backline and kick always out. You're always so annoying. The kill potential is not super high. It's existent. It's good. But it's not like Hela to tap, you know? Yeah, somebody said, in which you're correct, he's like a less threatening version of Cap. Yeah, the only time that he's actually as threatening as Cap is when he uses his ulti. I think he's okay. He melts tanks. Dude, tanks don't die this season. If you're like until an Eternity player, half the, like maybe mid Celestial, people are not going to pay attention to you half the time when you're engaging the backline. And even if they do, you can easily disengage. So I think that Iron Fist can definitely go on A tier with the buffs. He's not bad at 1v1s. He's pretty good at annoying backline and attracting resources. He's very difficult to kill. So that's why I'll give him an A tier. I would say that right now, Iron Fist is at least as good as Captain last season. Iron Man, nobody plays Iron Man. I think it's like the lowest pick rate this season. I think that Iron Man, nobody plays it. I don't think it's bad by any means. I think there's like, if you want to carry, there's like more reliable options. Yeah, but I think Iron Man is good. I think he's always been good. I understand why people don't play him. For flyers at the moment, he's probably the worst one. But I think it would be disingenuous for me to put him at B tier. I think he's way better in the B tier. I think he's A tier fairly. If you know how to play Iron Man pretty well, I think he's good. Maybe high B tier, A tier. I don't want to put him next to Invisible Woman and Adam because you can definitely carry a lot harder with angles with Iron Man. His ulti, I mean, his ulti gets you killed more times than it actually kills the enemies. If you know how to utilize angles correctly and your timing to engage and disengage your flight is correct, I think you'll be a menace. You'll be great. And I think you can easily like also beam tanks down with good angles. Jeff, I love Jeff. You know me, I love Jeff. Jeff was S tier. He was amazing last season. This season, he's still pretty damn good. The problem is, again, there's just more CC and stuns across the board. And now there's like these Neore Hulks everywhere. And there's like a Raccoon that you can never kill. The problem with Jeff is that his kill potential dramatically decreased because tanks just don't die. You can't. It's difficult to play Jeff against Neore Hulk. It's difficult to play Jeff against Hulk. It's difficult to play Jeff against Penny even. It's difficult to play against anything at the moment. Jeff is amazing. Not bad. Would put him high A tier. But the problem is the CC is just too much and the kill potential is just a lot lower because everybody just got permabuff. If you play Jeff this season and they have a Raccoon, nothing dies. Nothing fucking dies, man. You shoot and it's like the HP goes up and it doesn't go down. It's insane. So I'll put him A tier because you can still, it's very difficult for them to kill you, but the kill potential is just drastic. All right, let's move on. Loki. Loki is a character you would love to have on your team. He is pretty damn good. You can off angle even though people don't do it. Most of the time what you're gonna do is just sit on the high ground, just shoot everyone from the high ground. His 1v1 ability is definitely not bad. You can disengage pretty safely. He has pretty strong ultimate. The only problem with his ultimate is most of the time you're gonna copy support ultis, and because you copy support ultis, it's gonna be very difficult for you to get kills because support ultis are essentially, hey guys, you don't die, do something. And a lot of times they don't do anything, but it's not that bad. But I do think that with Loki, a very good Loki can definitely be A tier for sure. I wouldn't give him S tier because there's still a big burden of healing on Loki. You have to stay with your team and heal them a lot of times. You can't just freely go off and do whatever you want. If you wouldn't have the burden of healing, if you could play Loki like you're playing Mantis, for sure it goes on S tier, but he can't. That's the problem. Moving on to Luna Snow. Luna Snow is a character that everyone likes to have on their team, especially if you were Neore last season, especially if you're Jeff now. Amazing healing, amazing ultimate. The problem is it's very difficult to carry on that hero on your own because you might say damage output is high. It's not that high unless the enemies are close and you don't really want to be close to the enemies. She doesn't have a disengagement ability, so you're pretty vulnerable to dives. You can't really flank, you can't really off-angle, and the burden of healing is mostly on you. However, because she has more damage and more kill potential and better 1v1 potential than Cloak and Dagger, I'll just simply put her above Cloak and Dagger, which is C tier. And the fact that BP is at the same tier as Luna is criminal, but that's just how it is. Yeah, Luna is just if you want to carry, not an amazing hero. I would take if you want to carry as a healer. Invis Woman just has better utility, better disengagement. You're less likely to die, more likely to kill people that are like out of position. Yeah. Moving on. Magic, CC, more difficult to play, but I think that definitely doable. I think she's magic is still pretty good. Yes, Emma can just kill you out of the ultimate. Yes, the thing can just be annoying. But most of the time, you wouldn't find yourself engaging these people anyways, and they can't randomly use their abilities on you if you're careful. With BP, it's not exactly like that because sometimes you'll dash through, and when you dash through people, you'll get CC'd randomly, right? And with Magic, it doesn't really work like that. It's a single target dash. So yeah, I think that Magic definitely goes on A tier. I think good Magic players are definitely annoying. I think she's way harder than before, but I think that it would be disingenuous for me to put her with Adam. I think she can carry more than Adam, Strange, and Invis at the moment. Definitely low A tier. I think she's probably one of the worst ones in this because of Emma and CC. Like pretty much every CC got buffed. That's why. Anyway, Magneto, he got buffed. He's pretty good with a team up. His ulti is okay, but I don't think he's like obnoxiously stronger than he was last season. He's stronger, but not obnoxiously stronger. I think he's good, but I don't think he's like amazing. So yeah, I'll put him on A tier. I think that Mag, you would rather have Mag over Strange, but I would rather have a good Cap over a good Strange for the most part. Or like even a good, I would rather have a good Groot over a good Mag. He's good, but not like, whoa, they have Mag. This shit's gonna be annoying and insane. It's gonna be difficult to win. Man, Mantis is like... Mantis is an interesting one. I'll tell you why Mantis is an interesting one. Because Mantis was the easy S tier last season. But because healing kind of got buffed, and it's more difficult to get kills, I'm contemplating putting her in A tier. I still do think that you can reliably carry with Mantis. You are very good at 1v1s because of the sleep. You are very good at disengaging because of the sleep and the movement speed. You can off-angle freely. I might be a little bit biased. I'm considering putting her at S tier, even though I would think that a high A tier would be appropriate. And now she also lost health, so her ability to win 1v1s, it's just like more difficult. Yeah, I'll put it in A tier. I think that overall across the board, more difficult to get kills, less HP. I think that's what makes her less than S tier and just A tier. Hear me out for Mr. Fantastic. I was the rank 1 Mr. Fantastic, currently rank 1. I hate rank 1 from the world, only 8 hours so playing here ranked here with 90% win rate solo queue. He's not insanely OP, but he absolutely can carry with him at the highest rank, so please consider the changes Giga buffed his carry potential. Yeah, he's considered. Oh, you were waiting for me to come to the Mr. Fantastic before you type text? Yeah, I think that Mr. Fantastic, even though he doesn't have the greatest ability to flank and off angle, which didn't do much to do, Mr. Fantastic now does a lot of damage, and he lives forever. That character is so obnoxious to play against that to the point that I hate it. I still think he suffers from big disadvantages. Like his disengage ability is still not great. His ultimate is still kind of ass. But now at the very least he has skill potential and he's just less likely to die. So that automatically that will put him in A tier. I don't think he's S tier. I think he's A tier. But to be honest, he was like C tier or D tier beforehand. Now you can actually go to the backline and not die. It's actually insane. And he can actually get kills. Surprisingly. You know? Alright, Moon Knight. Yeah, Moon Knight is pretty across the board. Feels great. Moon Knight, because everyone gets healed and everybody's so clumped up together all the time, playing Moon Knight feels amazing. You charge up your ulti sometimes literally 45 seconds. I think he's pretty damn good. I think the fact that now his rope is way better makes it easier to off-angle and disengage from off-angles. I think that his right-click gives you the ability to take 1v1s and actually win. I think, yeah, he's definitely, I'm not gonna kid myself and say that he's S tier, but I definitely do think that he's a reliable A tier if you play him like a teach, basically poke, boom, off angle, try to get a kill. I think he's amazing. I think that if I were to do a bronze to celestial, I would have very, very high win rate. So I will put him at A tier. I think he's pretty damn good right now. All right, moving on. Neore, guys. Listen, the Gamma Squid, it's just obnoxious. Yeah, is the slow squid kind of as good? Yes, I think that Gamma is not that much better than Snow. I think it's better. It's not that much better. But I think Neore is just amazing. I think if you just perma-flank with Neore, you're going to be amazing. I think Neore without Hulk team-up is easy A tier. With Neore, Hulk team-up is just S tier. I actually think Neore is a very, very good character to carry with. I think he doesn't struggle with most things. He can off-angle. He has a semi-reliable disengage ability. I think his bubble is alright. It's not amazing because people can easily chase you. But it's very difficult to push Namor because of squids. And yeah, I think he's S tier. Like carrying games with Namor is fairly reliable. And Luna Snow was so strong. I agree. I think with the Gamma Squid, it just burns people as well. I think it does more DPS. The slow is good, but it does more DPS. Penny. They buffed Penny. I'm not sure what they buffed about Penny. I still do think that Penny is ass. I think she's not amazing. I definitely think you can carry with Penny. I definitely think you can do a lot with Penny. And I've definitely seen people do a lot with Penny, the ones that are good. I think it would be disingenuous for me to put Penny at the same tier as like I'm like thinking, see, not really. I think you can do a way better job at carrying games than Luna and BP. But I would still put her like B tier. You can carry games fairly reliably. If you're good, if you're not good, it's gonna be very difficult. Because the problem with Penny is the kill potential is not very high. The left click damage is not amazing. I think that people stepping into your mines is kind of like, no offense, but it doesn't really happen in high ranks. Like when I say, I mean, like what a one above all player just walks into mines all the time? Maybe like one time, whatever. So Penny is alright. She's buffed. She's okay. Not amazing. Alright, Psylocke. Psylocke across the board is an amazing hero. I think the team up made her very, very strong as well. I think the team up is very, very good. I unironically think that the team up is really bad against BP. Not BP, I mean, sorry. What's his name? Moon Knight. I think that I find that Psylocke defeats me on Moon Knight a lot, but just because of the team up and her illusions, it makes it just easier to target the regular one. But yeah, but Psylocke is still S tier. Without a team up, Psylocke is amazing. The only real struggle that Psylocke has, and even if you go to my Bronze to Celestials, you see the only time I actually lost games was against triple support. But to be honest, against triple support, most characters are kind of ass. So I think that yeah, Loki is like the counter to Psylocke, but even then, it's if you can force cooldowns and lamps, you're gonna be fine. Against triple support, that's like the only weakness, but she's good. Anyways, Raccoon guys. So Raccoon, everybody put him in garbage tier, D tier, right? Last season, D tier, F tier, L tier, noob tier, S tier, like S like in sucks, S in sucks, not S tier. A lot of people are like, oh my god, Raccoon is so amazing. Guys, Raccoon is still fucking shit if you want to carry your games. Yes, Raccoon does a lot more healing. He gets his ultimate faster. It's way better. However, imagine if your team is ass. What are you gonna do on Raccoon? Absolutely fucking nothing. It's still a garbage hero. I would say that the reason why he would be above Cloak and Dagger is because it's just more he can live more. He does more damage. I think his ulti is better, ironically. And yeah, I think C is fair. Is fair. I think that if you know how to play Raccoon, you're gonna do alright. But it's not amazing. It's still pretty trash. So Raccoon is way better than he used to be. It's still not amazing if you want to carry games. I would not advise anyone to play Raccoon if they want to carry games. Why? Because essentially what you're gonna do most of the time is sit behind your team and heal them. And if your team is ass, no amount of healing is going to help them. It's just gonna be ass. You're gonna kill and lose. Even if you give them a res, you're basically just adding another death. Sorry, it's the truth. Prove me wrong. I would like to see a Bronze to GL 100% win rate on Raccoon. Any of you. Would love to see that. Alright. Moving on, Wanda. I actually think that Wanda has always been pretty good. Even this, like, I don't know if they buffed Wanda now or they didn't. I think that Wanda was pretty good. Every time I had a good Wanda against me or a good Wanda on my team, they were doing God's work, man. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like she's S tier. However, I definitely do think that Wanda belongs in A tier. She can reliably off angle. She has very strong damage output. She can disengage reliably. The only real problem that Wanda has is that her ultimate is kind of ass. Like when you use a Wanda ulti, everybody just runs away like headless chicken. And a lot of the time you will get killed in your ulti. It's just kind of like an Iron Man ulti, except that it takes like 5 million years to charge. I actually think that what would be a good rework for Wanda ulti is make the duration at least as like half, 50%, 50% charge, but don't make it one shot, everybody. Make it like, you know, let's say 250 damage, 300 damage, so people can actually react by counterplaying. However, like people are not necessarily gonna get one shot every time they play Wanda, like 200 damage, 250 damage. Anyway, Spider-Man, I think that Spider-Man is unfortunately not amazing. Even if you're the best Spider-Man in the world, it's going to be very difficult for you to carry games. Why? Is because it's quite simple. Your damage is still not enough. You will have to learn every combo in the game for you to barely get a kill. Spider-Man is annoying to play against, but most definitely, Spider-Man is not an amazing to carry with. The only people who think Spider-Man is OP are people who have never played Spider-Man. It's just like, if you think Spider-Man's so OP, why don't you try it? And you'll see how absolute garbage that is. It's not a great character. It's a pretty bad character. You die very quickly. You get shut down by half the abilities. You get out-healed almost for anything. The only real reliable way for you to get a kill is with a Venom team-up, and even then, it doesn't do that half the time. With your ulti, yes, you can get kills with your ulti, but again, you can get shut down pretty easily. All it takes is Invisible Wind to do this within a 4-second cooldown, and your ulti is kind of garbage. And one above all, Spider will 100% win rate to GM? No, I don't believe that. I actually think that Necros did it once to GM, and he lost a few games in gold. And he was pretty damn good at the time. Now, you can say that Necros might not be the best Spider-Man player, which I don't know if you agree, disagree, doesn't really matter. That being said, I would say that I would consider him like one above all. I would like to put him in B tier. I think he's better than any of these characters to carry. I think he's high B tier, but I definitely don't think he's better than... I don't know who he's better than any of these, to be honest. I don't know which character from these heroes he's better than. Yeah, so I put Spider-Man in B tier. I think that B tier would be fair. All right, moving on. Squirrel Girl. Sorry, that hero is just kind of ass now. I gave her the benefit of the doubt last season because, well, there was not a lot of healing. Tanks would die a little bit faster. I think the problem with Squirrel Girl, it's very difficult to off angle because she doesn't have a reliable disengage ability. Her disengage ability is her shift, which makes her actually vulnerable most of the time. Yeah, I think Squirrel Girl damage is alright, but again, it's just like kind of sit with the back on the team farm ulti and hope for the best. But against good players, you will pop your ulti and they'll destroy your ulti within a second. I think that getting kills with your ulti is only reliable maybe until Grandmaster, which is a consideration for the tier list. I think the ulti is okay and you can farm it fast, but I think it will be very difficult for you to get kills on a Squirrel Girl because again, you off angle, somebody contests you, you just die. It's just the way it is, unless you click your right click, but even then, that will require for you to hit an ability in order for you to stay alive, which is a little bit ridiculous. So I think that Squirrel Girl is definitely not A tier. I definitely not C tier. I would put her like at B, like low B tier. I'll actually concede that I'll concede that I think Spider-Man has a higher carry potential to Squirrel Girl at the moment. Anyways, moving on to StarLord. I think StarLord is really, really good. I think that he's a character you can reliably carry with. I do think that he loses most matchups with like S tier characters. I actually don't think that StarLord is amazing at 1v1s. I think that StarLord is not great at fighting people head on because he is a character that does damage over time rather than burst damage. So if you take, for example, StarLord against Hela and you get shot one time, you lose, Even if you fight a Squirrel Girl and you get shot one time by a Squirrel Girl, you lose. But I think his ulti is good. I think that his mobility is amazing. I think he can off angle, he can reliably disengage. I think you can farm your ulti fairly quickly with the E. I think you can definitely get kills for sure. Yeah, so I'll definitely put him A tier. I think StarLord is pretty good. He's not like obnoxiously good like these characters, but he's good. He's very good. I would actually even rate him higher than Moon Knight, to be honest, or like Mantis. Moving on, Storm. Storm was pretty much S tier last season. I believe that I put in her S tier. I think that Storm now is less than S tier based on the fact that Raccoon exists and can pretty much out-heal half the ulti. Like, it's just so difficult to kill now people with Raccoon when Raccoon exists on the enemy team. I definitely think she's not bad. I think she's pretty good. I think she does a lot of damage. I think, did they nerf her damage? Just so I can, I want to know the facts. I don't know if they nerf her damage or not. No? The range nerf, perhaps? I don't know. But the thing about Storm is she basically does what Human Torch does, it's just worse. It feels like she does less damage, the kill potential is not there. She's very easy to kill. Basically, she's a Human Torch from Temu, Human Torch can disengage, Human Torch has more HP, Human Torch has more damage over time, Human Torch has more reliable disengage ability, therefore Human Torch is just way better than Storm in any capacity, but still that doesn't make Storm not good, but I think that she is not amazing. I think that every time I faced a Storm this season, it was fairly easy to kill no matter what hero was playing, So I think that A tier would be fair. I think like mid A tier would be fair. All right, moving on. We have Punisher. I don't know. Some people in my chats told me that people rate Punisher very low. It's like a very low on the tier list. I see why. I don't think he's bad though. I think that the problem that Punisher has, we see in gameplay today. I wasn't planning to, but since there's like over 1,000 viewers right now on both Twitch and YouTube, if you guys would like me to play after, I'll gladly do it. Mostly on my Moon Knight arc though. That being said, the problem with Punisher is that it's very difficult for you to actually off angle flank, disengage. His movement is just absolute garbage. Grapple doesn't work half the time. Grapple gets stuck on so many things half the time. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like you can't carry Punisher. You can, but it's just gonna sit with a team and shoot and hope for that you can actually hit most of your shots. And if you time your ultis and all that stuff, all that fine stuff, you need like can't play anti-dive with your right click, etc., etc. I think he's reliable B tier. I think he's reliable B tier. He's not A tier. He's not S tier. He pretty much loses to anyone in A tier. But if you're a good Punisher player, you can definitely carry games. The problem is that you're susceptible to getting flanked off angle. It's like anything. Pretty much. All right, the Thing. Guys, I'm sorry to say the Thing is like as much as people think he's good, he pulled him like S tier, A tier on the tier list. If you actually pick the Thing, you would realize I'm not getting any fucking kills. The only time you would play the Thing is when you have 3 backline dives and your supports are dying. So you're like, you know what? Let me just stay with the supports and click shift every time the enemies are like diving my team. That's how you carry with the Thing. Very difficult to kill you, but you don't have any kill potential because you're a close range fighter. You can flank, you can off angle. There's no kill potential essentially. Your ulti is alright, but takes too long to farm. Yeah, it's just pretty horrid across the board. And I ironically think that the Thing has less carry potential than Penny, so I'm gonna put him in C tier. All right, Thor. I don't know why people say he sucks. I've played a little bit of Thor. I've watched other players play Thor. I definitely think he's good. I definitely think that Thor is good. I actually put last season Thor on A tier, and then I did a bronze to GM 100% win rate, which was pretty damn flawless. A lot of the time I did it solo tanking. So in hindsight, I would put him in S tier last season. This season, I would definitely not put him in S tier. But I do think he's very, very good. I think that Thor can disrupt backlines. I think that Thor has the ability to engage and disengage freely. I think he has a lot of damage, high kill potential with the Awakening form. His ulti is not amazing, but it's not bad. It's alright. But yeah, I think that Thor is reliable A tier. You can definitely live for a very long time. You can constantly apply pressure. You have high kill potential. What more could he ask for a tank? I think he's like kind of like a Hulk, except that Hulk has less damage. Lost 100 HP, yeah, but he runs faster. But even if he loses 100 HP, if you just swing your hammer like one time, like do the swing, you have like 700 HP, no? Like 675. Venom. I think that Venom was, last season was good. This season, did they buff Venom? I think they buffed Venom this season, didn't they? I feel like I just die more to Venom nowadays. I don't know if they buffed him or not, but I feel like I'm dying more. So maybe just a me thing. It's the same Venom. I think that Venom is definitely pretty damn good. I do think that this in order, no. I do think that Venom is a good character. Definitely, like he's not S tier. He's not S tier. He just lacks the oomph. He lacks damage overall. The only time he can reliably get kills is with the ulti, and even then, it's not that reliable. I think he's just very difficult to kill. Like if you just go in by like with the nosedive without a swing and you use the swing to get out, essentially you're unkillable most of the time. If you cycle your cooldowns and engage your right times, I think he's pretty good to carry with. But the problem is that it's just very difficult to get kills with. That's like the main issue. That's the main issue that Venom has. He's like the kill potential is just not very high. That's the problem. Enemy can interrupt swing, yeah, but even then you have like the shields and stuff. So I would actually put Venom at like high B tier. I can contemplate putting him in A tier. I think like that's the only character that I'm unsure about most of the time, but I would say just B tier. I think B tier. I'm sorry. I think it will be disingenuous to put it in A tier. I think that these guys do a way better job carrying games. Yeah. Moving on, Bucky. I do think that Bucky suffered this patch. I don't know if they nerfed him or about like or anything. I just see him less, and when I see him, he's not that amazing. But I think that he's not that amazing is because everyone is playing the Human Torch nowadays. So I can't do much against that. I mean, he can't do much against half the heroes that people play. That's why he's not being played. Okay, like, what are you gonna do against Emma and the Thing and the Torch and like anything? Yeah, so I think that Bucky's not great. He was not S, like people thought he was S tier last season. I put him in A tier. I think that if I'm being generous now, he's maybe A tier. If I'm being generous, I think he's B tier, guys. I think he's B tier. Like, you would get a kill if you hit your hooks, and even then, that doesn't work. He can't really flank. I think they nerfed him, so he doesn't do as much damage anymore. I think that B tiers would be fair. No off angles. The only reliable way for this to get kills is a hook, but even then, it wouldn't really do great. His hook is 12 seconds now. Yes, even more insane. Guys, Wolverine has always been an ass character. I don't know who spread the propaganda that this character was ever good. It was absolute garbage. The only good thing about this character is the ulti, which misses like half the time. And in order for you to get the ulti, it's like 5 business days. It's so bad. This character is so bad. If you think this character is good, and you can go from bronze to GM with over 90% win rate, even if you're one above all player, I'm willing to give you $100. And if you can't, give me 5. That would be a fair trade. Top 5 players season 0 Wolverine spammers? Yes, because they didn't have half the tanks that exist right now. Also, they were playing in very high ranks, which in high rank people can actually follow up on your shift. You know? Like, bro, if you grab a tank in, let's say, silver, who's gonna kill that tank? Invis. Oh yeah, Invis didn't exist as well. Dude, Invis grab, pull, grab, push. Yeah, it's a pretty garbage hero, guys. D tier, straight up. Straight up is probably, I unironically think that carrying on Wolverine might be even worse than Cloak and Dagger. It might be yes, might be no. It's like kind of a 50-50 power play there. So bad. Worse than Rocket? Yeah. At least you can reliably do damage and not die on Rockets and keep people alive. Yeah, but that's not in, just so you know, that is not in order by any means.